We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
Welcome to the RedAssPodcast, your home for Aggie sports, barbecue, music, and much more. And now your hosts, Rob White and Roy May.
Howdy, guys. Welcome back to the RedAss Podcast. It's been a long couple of months, but we are finally back and rolling for the fall semester. Yeah, for those of you who have never watched us before, I am Rob White, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2014.
And I am Roy May, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2015.
Yeah. And before we get into any and all of the fun talking points that we will be getting into, I want to start with a very simple deal. How was your summer, Roy? What was going on?
Well, I'm going to start by saying it has been one of the most moderate summers I can remember in history, and I am not complaining in the slightest. About 2 weeks ago, somebody turned the furnace back on, but um, it's been good, man. This condo project is just so much work. So that's dominated a lot of my time, and it's finally getting down the road. Honestly, it's just been a pretty chill summer other than work. I haven't done a whole lot of stuff. Obviously, went to bowling nationals.
Right.
I've really done I haven't taken a lot of trips, but just work around the house and work. I'm not a very interesting human being.
That's all good. Hey, a chill summer's good, especially whenever the weather is actually going to be playing nice too. I mean, I have not complained one little bit. I mean, I can't think of a day where we hit 100, knock on wood, but we've been pretty good about that.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hey, I,
Um,
I I knocked on it. I was good.
my, my chickens are full grown. We are quickly approaching the egg laying season. Because if not, we're gonna have fried chicken in a couple of weeks. So they have choices,
Winter, winter, chicken dinner. Either way.
one way or the other. I'm getting something out of these stinking chickens. But they're good. Laverne and Shirley are just fine.
Good.
Um,
That's what I like to hear.
yeah, kiddos got all moved in, getting ready for her junior year. She had summer school stuff and all that, and um, yeah, she moved into the barracks for this school year, so
Cool.
she's closer now. Um, but got to spend some good time with my daughter over the summer too. That was really nice, and then of course, after work, she likes to swing by and steal food when I cook dinner. So.
Naturally. I mean, the joys of being a parent, that's local.
I'll say I did a lot of cooking this summer, so that made me very happy.
The question was, did you do a lot of cooking and a lot of laundry, or was it just cooking?
Uh, a lot of cooking. Yeah, so I'm just kind of taking it upon myself to um, just kind of go nuts in the kitchen these days. I made a German onion pie the other day. Like it's just, yeah, I love that stuff, and I've gotten to where making a pasta sauce and I've made an enchilada sauce, made a homemade enchilada sauce, and it was fantastic. Um, and then what did I make? Oh, the other night I made a white chicken lasagna with spinach. So
Cool.
I'm trying to do as much from scratch, and that's not like I'm going on a health kick thing. I just like cooking, and I like cooking with more natural stuff. And they always say, you go to the grocery store, stay out of the aisles, and you'll eat healthy.
No. Well, and I did have another question for you. It was going to be more along the lines of something special, maybe for Saturday, considering a certain matchup taking place, maybe shepherd's pie.
Not a bad call.
Not a bad call. I love a good shepherd's pie if it's when it's done right.
Well, I love a good shepherd's pie, but that almost falls into the soup and chili thing. So it's
Yeah.
almost like it's not weather specific, but it kind of feels like it's more of a cold weather dish.
Normally, yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. As far as my summer was concerned, it was very, very busy. We were all over the place. It felt like Pacific Northwest ended up doing a bunch of shows up there with Randall King, which was awesome, and that actually led to more shows coming up this fall with him. So we're going to be playing at his festival at Floors coming up in October. But then we're going to turn around and over the course of 6 shows all in the Midwest and other points around the region. We're going to be out in that direction, kind of October, November. So we're going to be in Milwaukee. We're going to be in
Uh,
Minneapolis.
Really wake.
Yeah, Milwaukee. We're going to go up there. We're going to be in Minneapolis, and then wrapping up that run in Chicago.
That's awesome. I love Chicago. I was
Yeah.
just talking to somebody this morning about it. Absolutely love that city.
So
Um,
looking forward to getting out there, and then we're going to do Wichita, Des Moines, and then Columbia, Missouri, and those are all going to be with Randall. So
but most importantly, I believe you're somewhere tomorrow night, correct?
correct. As a matter of fact, I was going to save it for the end, but I might as well go ahead and plug it now. For those of you who don't know, I do play in a band. I play with another Aggie class of 2019. His name is Carson Jeffrey, and we will be over at the Tap in College Station. So be sure to come and hang out. It's gonna be a fun night. It's the first show that they're having this semester, and I guarantee it's gonna be a ripper. Plenty of college kids will be there, I'm sure, but there's plenty of other people will be there too. It should be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
All right, let's get into it.
Yes, let's go ahead and get into it. So, 2025-26 athletic season is upon us at this stage of the game. We've already kicked it off with a little bit of soccer action, but football kicks off for us next week, and plenty to get into, I would say.
Yeah, I talked about this more on the fan show. I I get the novelty of going to Dublin, but man, if you're going to do these showcase games, and we've already like ad nauseum, we've talked about keeping college football games on college campuses.
Agreed.
But if you're like Notre Dame going to Dublin made sense.
Yes, it did.
The Wildcats and the Cyclones going to Dublin makes zero sense.
What are
There's
you talking about? It's
Armageddon in Dublin.
What do you think that they do? They farm and ranch. That's like the vast majority of what their business is over there in Ireland. It's kind of the perfect matchup, if you're being honest.
No, no, man. Because like, fine. You know what? I'll even concede that point. But to think those two fan bases going to Dublin makes no sense. You know where they should have played this? Arrowhead.
Yeah. I mean, and if you talk to my buddy Travis Halm, if he's listening, hi buddy, he would tend to agree. I would think Arrowhead certainly is. If you're going to do a neutral site for that game, that's definitely one. I would say probably the best possible location to do that one. But what do I know? I just watch athletic events and pray
Well,
that they try to stay on campus.
yeah, I will say one thing for this game though. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
And it like legitimately could be the preview for the Big 12 championship game. Like, I mean, this should be a really good game.
I agree.
I don't know why it's in Dublin.
Man, like I said,
Look,
it
if
is.
you're going to take the farm thing, then that's fine. They need to play it out in the middle of nowhere then. Go find some dude's farm and go straight Field of Dreams style.
If you build it, they will come. I don't know about everybody else, but at least they'll come. It'd be a good time. Just so long as you got cameras on it, so everybody knows it was real.
Yeah,
But
so it happened. Yeah. If you play a football game in a field in Ireland, did it really happen?
exactly. Apparently, that's the rules. Oh man. But yeah, I know you wanted to talk a little schedule preview, a few other things. So I leave that to your whim, Mr. May. What are we doing?
Yeah. So for anybody unfamiliar, we go through picks. Every week we rattle off a bunch of picks. And since the beginning of the season, today we're gonna go through the schedule. It's not gonna be an incredibly long podcast, to be honest. We're gonna go through the schedule and kind of do our predictions. Next week we're gonna break down positions. So next week we'll actually break down like the team itself, kind of what we're thinking.
Right.
Hopefully by then we have a kind of a set depth chart.
Yeah.
By Thursday you would think we would have it. So then we can run through the roster. Um, but first off, like before we get into it, let's go ahead and pick the Iowa State Kansas State game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, I mean, I like that Iowa State's returning a quarterback.
Hmm.
But I mean, so is Kansas State. This is kind of a tough one to pick, to be honest. So Kansas State is 3-point favorites. So obviously it's basically a pick 'em game to an extent.
Right.
3 points. We don't pick on the spread though, unless it's a ridiculous spread,
Right.
like for an A&M game. When you're playing the Utah States of the world. Um, I really like Iowa State. I do. I like Matt Campbell. A big fan of his. And I don't like Kansas State going all the way back to the Big 12 championship game we played against them.
Hmm.
Quite
El
frankly.
Classic. Hey, you just got to plug that one whenever you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So just real quick, I'm going to go ahead and take Iowa State literally because I just like Matt Campbell. Um, I think it's going to be a good game though. So it won't be won't be like a Notre Dame Navy where it's over after the second drive.
Hmm. I mean, I'm
So
with you. I'm Iowa State as well for this pick. Main, and I'm in that same boat as far as like obviously appreciating Dan Campbell. Think he's good people. He always has been. He's got himself a really solid team over there at Iowa State. Granted, like I said, I agree with you. I think Kansas State will give him a game, but I think it'll be Iowa State. So Cyclones, Tornadoes tend to beat out Wildcats in most situations. So I'm going to
yeah,
stick
there
with
we go.
that.
We're going to do it that way. Which mascot wins in a fight? Very well.
I love those arguments. Those are some of my all-time favorite arguments because
Well, they're also
honestly,
great. They're also great because like it's hilarious how accurate they are.
well, I mean, consider this for a minute. I mean, who on earth is going to beat the I mean, yeah, the University of Tulsa. A golden hurricane? A hurricane made out
Not
of gold.
all, not all teams are not all team mascots are equal.
Obviously.
Tulsa doesn't fall in that. All right, man. So let's get into the A&M schedule. So we start next week. We get a home game. We get a couple of warm-ups actually this year, as opposed to jumping right into Notre Dame. So first game is UTSA. I'm going to say dub, but so UTSA, if you look at a lot of the rankings, they've got a lot of returning, a lot of kids returning. I think it's like 17 kids returning or something like that.
And they
Like
weren't
that's
bad last year either.
yeah, they weren't bad. Their offense is where they're good. Their defense is where they're gonna have a problem. But this is actually gonna be a pretty good test for me because like you have to respect UTSA's offense. I think it was K forward ratings are like 25th in the nation.
Hmm.
Um, so that's a legitimate offense that you're gonna have to face. But I'm gonna go ahead and call that a win.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a win, but looking at the early spread, it's like 22.5 to A&M. I have a hard time calling that.
Well, I think one thing, a couple of keys for me, and this is really kind of for the first two games, like the warm-up games, is to generate big plays and to minimize big plays on defense, right?
Yeah.
Because that was a big problem last year. UTSA, I don't think Utah State so much, but UTSA does have an offense capable of doing it. So for me, it's generating the big plays on offense and it's keeping them from occurring on defense. Those are kind of the two things I really want to see in the first two games because again, that was an issue last year.
Yep.
Um, and so that's really kind of my key takeaways that I want to see. Um, yeah, it's a big spread, but again, UTSA's defense isn't really good. So if our offense is what we think it's going to be, yeah, I can see that spread no problem. I mean, maybe they put up 14 or 17, but maybe we put up 50.
Well, and see, like, if I had to put a score on it, I would say probably like a 41-17 A&M, largely with us kind of pulling away in the second half once they get gassed. I mean, that's generally where my brain was at. I think we win that game. I think it just might be a little more hairy earlier than we would like, especially with it being the first game. But I would
Yeah,
much rather have a first game at home against UTSA than what we had to deal with last year with Notre Dame.
absolutely. All right, next one is Utah State. Quick plug that morning, the American Legion Agland Post 1938 is going to be having a veterans breakfast at Welborn Baptist Church starting at 8.
Cool.
It's free just to come and hang out. And if you're not a veteran, you're welcome to come. Just learn about what the Legion's about. It's just going to be socializing. We're not putting on a program or anything. Just food, just breakfast. Since it's a morning kick, run by the church, grab some breakfast, and head on to tailgate. So the battle of the Aggies. Obviously, I'm taking us.
Yeah, I think Aggies are going to win that one easy.
Dick.
The maroon ones in particular, but you know what I mean.
All right. So then we get our first test of the season going on the road to South Bend, which I know a ton of Aggies are really excited to go on that trip. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going personally.
I've been wanting to go to that game for years because as soon as it dropped on the schedule, I really wanted to go, but obviously life has gotten in the way, and I have a job that requires me to work on weekends, so not much I can do there. But
Yeah, fair. Um, so Notre Dame, by all accounts, it looks to be a playoff team this year. But their schedule is kind of laughable. They really only have two or three actual opponents. And that's just that's just how Notre Dame is every year. They get a ton of favor for being the Golden Domers. Um, but I like Marcus Freeman. I think he's a really good coach. Jeremiah Love is obviously ridiculous. Um, this is a tough one, man. On the road at night at Notre Dame. This is a big time environment. I expect there to be a lot of Aggies. Um, Obviously, because it's not a trip that we regularly make, so Ags tend to scoop up tickets in droves for stuff like this.
Hmm.
Um, Man, I mean, I'm a sunshine pumper.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I want to say we win, right?
All
But
right.
I don't think we do. I think we lose a close one. Um,
Yep. I'm with you on that. That's where my brain went.
if if this had been flip flopped and last year was away and this year was home, I would probably take A&M to win this one.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I think with Elko at home in this situation, year two, I like him a lot better. But on the road, South Bend, there'll be a lot of hype. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think we win it though.
Yeah, I guess dropping that one. All right, turn around. Let's see here. So actually, we have a bye. And then we get Auburn at home. I hate just the Auburn series is so weird.
It is.
But what's going on at Auburn right now? Talking about having three different offensive coordinators and possibly playing all three quarterbacks. So you have a potential of 9 different scenarios. I'm going to take a win, especially since it's at home.
If you have two quarterbacks, you have none. That's the old adage. And if you've
Yes.
got three, you have absolutely nothing. So
You have
yeah,
no idea what you're doing.
yeah. So I mean, I'm with you. I think A&M gets a little revenge off of last season. I think we do win at home against
Yeah.
Auburn this time around, and I don't honestly feel like it's going to be particularly close. I like A&M in that game.
I think Auburn's going to struggle this year. I really do. And that brings us to our next opponent, who I also think is going to struggle, and that's Mississippi State. We get them at home, don't have to deal with the cowbells.
A&M home.
Uh, yeah, I've got A&M on this one. Next one, again, you got a home game against Florida. Uh,
What's this? The fourth? Was it the third or fourth time that we've hosted Florida, and yet we still haven't seen Georgia at Kyle Field?
Third, I think.
I think this is the third time we've hosted them, right? We lost to them in 12.
Yeah,
We beat them in 20.
yeah,
I could have sworn we played them at home another time. Maybe I'm crazy.
yeah. I don't know.
Doesn't really matter. But
But yeah, so Florida, we got him at home. DJ Lagway, I think, could be one of the best quarterbacks out there, but he's a China doll.
yeah,
He can't stay healthy. And Marcel Reed already beat Florida.
yep.
So I mean,
At the swamp.
smart money says that we're going to do it again, especially since he did it in the swamp.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I'll
about
take
it.
us to beat Florida.
Yeah.
All right, then we go on the road to Arkansas. We actually get to play in Fayetteville. Um, Fun environment. Terrible traffic situation if you're going to that game.
Yeah.
There's like one road in and out of Fayetteville, basically. Uh, but again, I think the head coach over there is on borrowed time. Um, I think Arkansas is just not going to be that good this year, quite frankly. I picked them. Yeah, I picked them probably middle to bottom of the pack in the conference. So
Mhm.
that's a game that, even though it's on the road, I think it's a great tune-up considering that we have 3 straight road games. So it's a great tune-up to get into the road stretch. And I think we beat Arkansas in Fayetteville. And I think we do it pretty handily.
I'm gonna drop a bomb here. I think we lose it.
That would be awful.
I completely agree, but I wouldn't put it past us. See, you got to understand my math this year. A&M is 8-4 until we're not. So
Very well.
I've got to find my losses, and that's one of them, I think.
All right, so the next weekend we go to Baton Rouge, go to the Red Stick. We just do not have good luck there. I guarantee you that'll be a night game. So I'm going to say we drop it to LSU.
Yep.
Then at least we have a bye, so we at least get to come home and sleep in our own beds for a week.
Yep.
Then we go on the road to Missouri. Missouri's kind of one of those dangerous teams, but they
Yep.
lost a lot. I know they picked some stuff up in the portal, but what they lost was some massive production. I like us to go to Missouri and win. Columbia's not an intimidating environment. As long as the weather isn't miserable, I like us to beat Missouri.
Yeah, I think we find our feet. that weekend we get back on it.
Yeah.
I think we good.
All right. The following weekend's big revenge game. South Carolina comes to town.
In the morning, which just sucks. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Early game.
that's the Maroon out game too.
That is
Um,
so dumb.
uh, I think there's a lot of revenge factor with this one. South Carolina did lose some people. Lenore Sellers is good, man. He
Yeah,
is, but they lost a lot of production. I like us to win at home against South Carolina.
I'm with you on that one too. I think we beat South Carolina. I do believe we get revenge, and the bottom trophy comes home.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one, it's a gimme at Stanford. That'll be the Military Appreciation Day, so that's cool. So that's obviously a dub. I mean, unless you think we're going to drop one to Stanford.
No,
Maybe in basketball.
maybe, but certainly not
In
football.
basketball, I could see it. And then the final game, we go to Austin, play the Sips. Is this your fourth loss?
That's my fourth loss.
Your fourth loss.
As
All right.
much, I think we give them a hell of a game. I think we will play them tough, but Texas is pretty darn good this year. At least they should be on paper. So yeah, that gets me and my Aggies to 8-4 at this stage of the game, and I am way more than willing to be proven wrong on this. So for the love of God, prove me wrong. I would love for us to do better than that, but that's just I know so many people we get that preseason hype. We get so excited about it because everybody's talking about, well, A&M's a sleeper team. We got to get like all this talk, and it's always talk. This rat poison, as we talked about. There's just nothing but talk all the preseason, and I just don't buy into it anymore. I can't.
You just given up.
No, I was like, you cannot convince me right now that we're a 10-2 football team. I know a lot of people have made but this was a good point that somebody made. I'm going to pitch the question to you. A&M goes 10-2, but your two losses are Texas and LSU. Are you okay with that?
I mean, I still put you at 7-2 in conference.
That puts you at 17 in conference
Okay.
and probably in a playoff spot.
Excuse me, 6-2 in conference.
But yeah,
Right.
6-2 conference and you're in a playoff spot.
Yeah, the ultimate look. All that matters is getting to the playoffs.
I mean, think about that. You're 10-1 going into that last game.
Yeah, and if you drop it, so be it. Because if you're 10-2 in the SEC, you're getting to the playoffs.
Yep.
Especially see, I've got us beating the Sips.
Sure.
I think we exact revenge in Austin.
And I would love it, but
Texas lost a lot. They
they
did.
did.
I have seen nothing from Arch Manning to make me think that he's the Heisman favorite, quite frankly, because right now he is. He's literally the odds favorite in Vegas, or at least on FanDuel.
Which is interesting because what have we seen to tell us that?
I mean, he looked lost when he played, and to sit there and say that he's going to be an upgrade from Quinn Ewers. Well, if he was better than Quinn Ewers, why would he play him?
Exactly.
That's kind of the elephant in the room, right? So I've got us at 10-2, 7-1 in conference, going to Atlanta, playing Georgia.
I love that.
Playing either Georgia or Texas. I mean, I
Well,
think that's a low-hanging fruit, but so be it. All right. So next up, Heisman. I'll read you the odds guys right now.
sure.
In order from top to bottom. Got Arch Manning at plus 700, Klubnik plus 9, Nussmeier plus 9, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State is plus 12. It's tough being a wide receiver winning the Heisman unless you return kicks and punts, and even really just punts because nobody returns kicks much anymore.
Yeah.
Carson Beck in Miami plus 1,800 and Lenora Sellers at plus 1,800 as well. The Lenora Sellers is maybe like a value gamble
Sure.
at plus 1,800, but
Well, I mean, I'm thinking
I can't see Nussmeier being on the list.
no.
That's the one head scratcher to me is Garrett Nussmeier being on that list, and on top of that being third.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you're generally looking at a quarterback. I don't know how good Miami's going to be. I'll be honest, I haven't really looked at anything ACC yet, and I generally don't until a couple weeks in. But I think Clemson's going to be in the playoffs. I think they're going to be really good. And when you have a good team around you, the quarterback generally garners most of the adoration.
My brain was going Cade, so
What's that?
my brain was going Cade, so yeah, that's
I'm
where,
going to go Klubnik from Clemson.
yeah, that's where my brain went.
Okay. Yeah, he's good, man.
He
And
is. He's very good.
I expect Clemson to be good.
Yeah.
Um, I think if even if it's tight, um, judging by what I saw, I think Arch Manning may, and this is just a may, I don't know. Um, he may be a little bit of turnover prone, not just throwing, but also running, because we saw it, right? Um, so I think, if it's close down the wire, it'll be like the touchdown to interception ratio kind of thing. And I think Klubnik is relatively clean.
Yeah, and not to mention his schedule is going to be more conducive to that.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets to play in the ACC, quite frankly. And there's just some really bad teams in the ACC where you can run up a lot of stats.
You
Not that
can.
Dabo is the kind of coach to intentionally run up stats so a kid wins the Heisman, but it just kind of happens that way.
It certainly can.
Yeah, the only way you see something crazy is if Clemson is such a juggernaut that they're able to pull him basically midway through the third every game, and that's not going to happen.
No.
There's enough competition in the ACC for that not to happen. Um, all right, so we'll move over to A&M. Uh, your offensive MVP prediction, other than Marcel.
Yeah, I wasn't going Marcel. I'm thinking.
I was actually going to go Marcel, but I figured that was kind of low hanging fruit. But if
It
if
is
that's
low hanging fruit.
if that's not a given, I mean, I'll say Marcel, but it's kind of cheating.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Let me look here. We're oh Le'Veon Moss.
Yeah, I mean, he was the leading rusher in the SEC last year before he got hurt, and
Yeah, if he
he
stays healthy,
did he still end up like third?
yeah.
Like, and he missed a couple games.
Like I
Um,
said, give him a shot. I want to, as a breakout, I would love to see EJ Smith really kind of get his feet under him.
yeah, EJ Smith, Terry Bussey's another one.
Yeah,
Um, but I would love for it to be one of the receivers, like
me too.
Bethel Roman or Concepcion or the new guys Craver.
Yeah,
Um, because because if they're the MVP, then our offense has gone completely vertical,
it has.
right? Um, so yeah, I had Moss with you on defense.
Oh, defensive side of the
I'm
ball.
gonna go Torian York. I know Cassius Howell is a popular pick because he was good last year,
Yeah.
and it's you hope he doesn't regress, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
expect him to be better this year. But I'm gonna take Torian York just because he's kind of obviously the quarterback of the defense.
Mhm.
I think he's got the ability to improve even more.
Yeah.
But we've got some fantastic players in the secondary. I mean, you got Will Lee back there. You got some talent up front.
Yeah.
Some returning talent up front. So this is probably more of a metric of depending on what's important to you on a defense.
Mm.
Um, is it having that shutdown corner? Is it having a linebacker that goes sideline to sideline? Or is it having somebody that can consistently put pressure on the quarterback while
Right.
also minding their run gaps, right?
And that's gonna be my big thing because I mean, what it typically comes down to the line, right? You need the line to be on top of their game. I'd like to see what Evans can do. I mean, he's a freshman, sure, but
No, taking a flyer.
give him a shot.
Mhm.
See what he does. Might be awesome.
Yeah, we're still a week away from us playing. So this is where the Kool-Aid starts flowing a little bit. Trying to keep it in check. But
Oh yeah.
it just feels a little different this off season.
Yeah.
Um, I think part of it is just one, we knew who our quarterback was,
Mhm.
right? We've got a lot better depth in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Uh,
We have a heavy O line and experienced O line, which
yeah,
is a good combo.
yeah, and it just seems like between SEC media days and then, you know, interviews after practices and stuff like that, it seems a little bit different. And maybe what it is we're starting to see that culture shift, of Mike Elko's program starting to take effect.
Yeah.
Because it's not arrogance by any means. It's just kind of a humble confidence. And it's been interesting to kind of watch.
Mhm.
Uh, if you pay attention to those kind of things or pick up on them. So I'm excited. I'm always excited for Aggie football.
Yeah.
Obviously, I picked them to go 7-1 in conference, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Uh, but who's your national champion? See, I think this is a tough one this year, and this is the one part where all this NIL stuff we bitched about for years now, right?
Hmm.
And all the compensation stuff. What's interesting is like you could look at the SEC and you can look at college football as a whole, and there are probably a dozen and a half teams that it wouldn't shock you if they ended up in the championship game, like
Right.
like the final college football championship game, because I think with the money and things being spread out, and talent going, I mean, talent's going to tech, right? I mean, these checks clear, man.
They do.
And so I think we've seen more wide, more talent spread out across teams as opposed to being like hyper focused in Georgia and Tuscaloosa and Ohio State, right? Penn State's another one.
And hell, they're
Uh,
number 2 preseason.
yeah,
You know.
and for some reason it doesn't. I mean, people are kind of talking about Penn State, but I mean, maybe it's just because the sports news that I consume, it seems more SEC oriented.
Sure.
Um, in Penn State, I mean, but then you go, can James Franklin actually win? Like win when it counts? Because that's been the one thing he hasn't been able to do. He always the game that matters the most on his schedule every year is the game that he blows.
I would not be shocked if a team that was not in the top 4 won the national title again. That's where more or less where my brain went. Um, in this case, I mean, honestly, I'll throw one out there. They haven't won one. It would be their very first national title, but they've always kind of been on the edge. And I think a system where they're not necessarily waiting a week, they might be able to benefit from it, like an Oregon, you know?
No, I mean it's not like they don't have NIL at Oregon.
No, they have plenty of it. They just haven't been able to do anything with it yet in terms of the big one. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters in the minds of people for years after the fact is did you win at all?
Yeah, another one, and just because of the program that they are, is Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio State is, the Alabama, of the Big Ten, basically, and
Yeah.
they just reload. They recruit well every single year. Doesn't seem to matter who the coach is because
Hmm.
they're just such a national powerhouse brand. And Ohio State, if their depth was good from last year,
Hmm.
who's to say that Ohio State's not going to be the team that decides to win it all? So I think it's wide open. I love it this year. I couldn't tell you who's going to win the national championship. I mean, I'd love for it to be A&M, obviously, but I
Sure.
don't think we're quite there yet. Um,
Well,
but
and I just have a hard time looking at Texas and finding the justification for it being number 1, especially because you're going to be on the road week 1 and you're a dog. That's the first time that's ever happened, like
yeah,
ever.
that defense is going to be salty though, man. Texas
Yeah.
defense is going to be good. It's just the questions are: is can they replace everything they lost, and is Arch Manning the answer? And it feels a lot like us last year, except for at least we were at home, but like having to go on the road first game play Ohio State. But it's going to be I get a feeling it's going to be like last year,
Yeah.
defending national champion Michigan, and turns out their team sucked.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. Having the title from last year doesn't matter. Hill of beans.
No.
And so hopefully Ohio State can put up a fight. Hopefully Ohio State. Well, I mean, I don't want to say I hope Ohio State's good this year because I can't stand Ohio State.
No.
Uh, but I'd like him to be good for that game.
Oh, sure. I mean, honestly, if you go out there and you blow the doors off of Texas in week 1, that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows and a lot of question marks.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, that'll be big, like both directions. Okay, Ohio State did reload, and is Texas? Maybe did we crown Texas champion a little bit too early?
Right. Which, I mean, that
Um,
goes back to our whole shtick about just preseason polls anyway and how they're pretty much useless.
it's like just for talking season is what it feels like.
It is. It is. But we'll see what ends up panning out. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a fun one, hopefully. I hope we do better than my prediction. I hope we're a lot closer towards your prediction. That would make my life easy. But we'll see how it pans.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Week one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this week zero crap. Week one, obviously the Cisco and Ohio State. LSU going to Clemson.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna find out real quick if Garrett Nussmeier is Heisman material.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to this when we do our picks that week. There's gonna be a lot of good games.
Bama, Florida State.
Yeah, Bama, Florida State ought to be a good one.
And then that Sunday we get South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Yeah. And that
That'll be
one,
fun.
hell, you get, I mean, come on, you get, yeah, was it, yeah, you get Catholics versus convicts on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, Hey, remember, that's the one weekend the NFL's not going, so they take advantage of it and play Sunday games.
Yeah, go for it. Make it happen.
So, yeah, it's just trying to stay calm. And the one thing that's keeping me grounded is the fact, is the fact that my Hammers are gonna be in a relegation scrap basically the entire season. So that's exciting. I love that for me.
That leads us nicely into our first round of questions. So, Jive Coach G, our buddy, fired in the first question. He said, "So, Premier League predictions for your clubs and mine, and will you make it to Aggie soccer games this season? Love, Jive Coach G, retired." Okay. So, talking about Premier League prediction.
As far as the entire league.
Well, more or less like where you think your team's going to land.
Oh, I literally think we're going to be in a relegation scrap all year long. I think we avoid relegation, but I think we might be the last team in kind of thing. I mean, I think we're going to finish 16th or 17th, and unless Sullivan just sells the club and gets out of the way. Graham Potter's never going to be able to pick up the players that he wants, and Sullivan is just a cheap SOB to begin with. And so, I mean, Graham Potter's going to get judged by having to coach players that don't fit the system he wants to run.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had an owner that literally knew anything about this sport, he would realize that.
Yeah.
So, and we are literally, it's like we are run by an absolute clown, and you can see it in the transfer window. It's disgusting to watch. He's ruined the club. I mean, it's got people fired up since we're getting mad again about being in London Stadium.
Right.
We're going to start piling all on top. So West Ham fans are just miserably pissed off right now, and I am right there with them. And the week one result, Sunderland coming back to the Premier League for the first time in who knows how long. I'm sure the Stadium of Light was absolutely rocking, lots of emotion. Arsenal dropped their match to Brentford when Brentford came back in the league, first time in 100 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And so if that happens on those first games for people coming back who haven't been in for a while, but we turn around and we got to play Chelsea tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's great. And we just loaned out one of our defenders, and probably the best one we had, quite frankly. So we're an absolute joke of a club right now. But I think Potter somehow manages to get us to stay up. The transfer window isn't technically closed just yet. I think we got another day or two.
Yeah, a couple days.
But if he can't get him in now, he's going to have to do what he can until the next window opens up. So we're going to be behind the 8 ball relative to our position in the table all season long. It's just praying that 2 of the 3 teams that came up absolutely suck, and then I don't know, man. This is not a real exciting outlook when it comes to West Ham this year, but I don't know, man. I don't think we get relegated. It's crazy to say a London club talking about getting relegated,
right.
but it's where we are. So I don't think we get relegated, but I think we're going to end up 16th or 17th. As far as who wins the league, I mean, just take your pick. Man City, Liverpool.
I have Liverpool not winning the whole league this year. I have us top 4, but I don't see us winning the league.
I think Chelsea's going to be really good this year.
Chelsea ought to be solid. I mean, I could see City bouncing back this year. Regardless, it's not going to be Arsenal. That's where my brain's at. I mean, Arsenal, is not.
Arsenal will be top four.
Yeah, they'll
I
be
think
top
they'll be
four,
top four again. Yeah,
but
but for some reason, Arsenal they just can't seem to pull it off.
no. I did for the first time in many years buy a kit because Liverpool's new kit was absolutely freaking gorgeous, and I had to buy it.
Yeah, there's the third kit for West Ham. Like, I need the color scheme to grow on me because it almost looks like navy,
Oh yeah,
gold and navy, but the badge are just two massive, like massive crossed hammers,
love that.
huge. So those are pretty sweet. Yeah, I'll probably end up having to get some or get
So
one.
Liverpool's third kit, they haven't officially released it yet, but it's going to be all green and it has the old school badge right here.
Yeah,
It looks Adidas hit it out of the park with these.
yeah,
I mean, Adidas gets Liverpool back, and that is just a match made in heaven between that club and those guys. So, yeah, that's one of those things. Excited because it's always a fun time, but obviously there was a bit of a hiccup over the summer with Diego Jota and
yeah.
that
That
whole
was awful, man.
situation.
That was so awful.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
for me,
feel for
it's like the results are going to be miserable, but I love Premier League Saturday and Sunday mornings.
me too. They're a ton of fun. All right,
Yes.
so next round of questions. So John Patterson asked. He said, "Why do I think we're actually going to be good this year? Also, are either of you going to the Boys from Oklahoma concert in Waco this weekend? I'm already sweating."
Well, I'm not going to the concert.
Me either.
I have things to do this weekend actually, so
As
even
do
if
I.
even if I wanted to, I couldn't go. Um, why does he think we're actually going to get this year? Well, and this will kind of feed into uh next week's thing because we're going to talk about the roster itself.
Yeah.
I think it's because, and believe it or not, it there's you're being rational.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a maroon Kool-Aid kind of thing. Like Rob's approach is, and I get it, right? Like, this is what we are until we aren't. I get it. Texas 8-4, right? But when you break down the roster by position group, you can say improved on, like, as good or improved on almost every single position group. And so I think we'll break it down a little bit further, but I think when you look at it that way, and second year of Mike Elko, we have a clear and defined starter who obviously played last year, and from that point on, he got all the reps. He's been getting all the reps. The concern is always injury, but that's every fan's concern with every team in every sport.
Hmm.
That's nothing you can control. I mean, you can partially kind of control it through your strength and conditioning, in which case you got to like our chances because Moffitt's an animal.
Hmm.
Um, so I think it's a rational take. Like, thinking that we're going to go undefeated is an irrational take,
Yeah.
but thinking that we're going to be good this year, honestly, if you break it down, I get where you're coming from, John. I do.
Yeah, we could be a great team this year. We could be a damn good team this year. Um, National champions, not likely. Conference champs, not likely. But that's why you play the games. You got to see how the season progresses because not only does it matter what we're doing, you got to pay attention to what everybody else is doing too. So if Texas is not quite living up to expectations, or let's say Sellers from South Carolina just has a dud year for whatever reason, I mean, that completely throws everything out the window as far as what your preseason predictions would be.
Yeah.
So,
Um, it, yeah. And again, like, the one thing we can never, control is injury, right? So
right.
but I understand it, and I understand, like, looking at it and going, man, wait, this can't be right. This can't be right. But you're coming at it from a rational, like, lens, John. So yeah, I think we can be good this year.
Right. Um, Final question we got from Komodo Dragon. I'm not sure if you saw it. Apologies for the phrasing here, but do you guys think this athletic year won't be another abortion
Oof.
of an athletic year? Yeah, I love that wording.
Um, so from an overall perspective, what do we think of Aggie athletics this year, like, as opposed to last year? Is basically what he's saying, right?
Pretty
All
much.
right. Well, let's just start. Soccer, I think, is an unknown. I think that program is kind of in an unknown state right now. Um,
Has been.
so we'll just say soccer as is, right?
Yeah.
We'll do this like either as is improved
Regress.
or regress. Yeah, thank you. This I can't speak.
Okay.
Words are hard. So soccer will just say as is. That is what it is. Volleyball improved,
I agree.
and they were good last year, and they're going to be better.
Yeah.
Volleyball's legit this year.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
you don't
so,
go on the road and defeat Texas.
yeah,
People don't do that,
yeah, and they're better this year.
and they're better than that. Yeah,
Jamie Morrison's really building a program over there. Football, I think is going to be improved.
I hope so. I'm with you
Uh,
on that.
men's basketball, I think might regress. Just but just just a little bit. I know that we went to the tournament last year, but I think if you can look at more than just results and say just excitement for the program and kind of excitement for the new coach, I think that plays a lot into it for perception. I think we're going to jump up and bite some people that don't expect it, and I'm sure we'll have some real clunkers. It's kind of first year thrown together roster, so we'll say they regress in men's basketball, just because I don't think we can expect him to take this roster to the second weekend in March kind of thing.
No, I could see them making the tournament,
I
but
see him making the tournament. I really
yeah,
could.
but
But it's just such an unknown. So I'll just say regress. Women's basketball, I'm guessing is going to be as is.
which
Um,
is not great.
yeah, not great. I mean, you would think they would improve. Like they almost don't have any room to regress.
Right.
Um, softball is that program, man.
Well, and it's tough to improve on where you ended up at the end of the season before the postseason. Like you've got to just execute in the postseason. That's the key.
Yeah, so for that, I'll actually say softball will improve because I don't
Right.
expect them to lay a clunker
Yeah.
in the postseason. So I think softball is going to be really, really good this year.
Think so
Made
too.
some really good roster and or portal additions as well.
Mhm.
Baseball got to be better.
Can't be much worse than it was, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, baseball goes out there, and anybody who's listened to this podcast knows my opinion on baseball. But I mean, these guys had everything lined up for them last year in terms of all the hype and everything else, and you just didn't quite execute on it. Yeah, you took down some teams that you weren't supposed to beat on multiple occasions and showed signs that you could be that team, but you didn't. Now, a lot of people were kind of going after Early's head last season, and I personally don't think that was going to be anything. But if he's struggling early and continues to trend along like he did last year, I can see more people starting to spin that wheel.
yeah. They just need to get it back on the tracks, quite frankly, and play. And you hate to use this phrase, but play like they're capable,
Yeah,
right? So if you look at that, I mean, really, it would be an improvement from last year if we're looking at a whole athletic department. Maybe not a big improvement, but I think it'll be better. I think right now everybody's still got a sour taste in their mouth about baseball and to some extent softball.
sure.
A wildly successful season to end like that is brutal.
Yeah,
Um, uh, yeah, and I think men's basketball. I think there's just a ton of excitement around it, if nothing else. I love high-paced basketball, like fast-paced basketball. You're speaking my love language, and
hmm
I expect football to be better. So if you look at the big three: football, basketball, baseball. Um, I expect improvement out of two of them.
yeah. I'm
So
with you.
I would say as a whole, it'll be better. It won't be worlds better than last year.
But it'll be
Yeah,
better.
track and field are going to do what they do anyways. They're just kind of you want to talk about a train rolling down the tracks.
Hmm
Um, so yeah, I think as a whole, the athletic department will be a little bit better. I don't know that it'll be worlds better by any means, but I think we'll see improvement in a handful of sports, and then that in and of itself is got to make you happy.
Yeah. I do think it'll be an improvement. I do as an athletic department. I think it'll be better, but
Yeah,
it's just part of the deal. We'll have to figure it out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we
Awesome.
could go 2-10 in football. I might be completely full of shit. I don't know.
Anything's possible,
We go
but
2-10 in football, this town will burn down.
yeah, it's not going to be great. Well, it goes back to that old, best case scenario, worst case scenario. You go 12-0, or you go 0-12.
I think I think 8-4 is the floor for this program this year.
Sure. That's why I
So
think we're going to be standing on the floor, but we'll see.
and somebody pissed in your Cheerios this morning.
It's no. You have finally run into realistic Rob. He's here.
Oh,
He's
well,
alive
I
and
might
he's
immediately
well.
change my approach.
Grr. It's fine. It's all
Maybe.
good. But yeah, as far as outside of the sports world, what do we got going on this weekend?
Not much really. I mean, I've got some personal stuff I got to tend to this weekend. But trying to catch the Farmageddon. So Premier League. We played Chelsea tomorrow, so just afternoon game. Um, yeah, I got some stuff to do, but it's none of y'all's business.
There.
And work. If you're bored on Sunday, swing by the Aria and see me.
Yeah. And if you guys have nothing else going on Friday night, and you better not, you better come out to the Tap in College Station, Texas. Come see me and the boys play. And if you happen to be one of our Stephenville listeners, be sure to come see us up at the Twisted J in Stephenville. We'll be up there on Saturday night. So that'll be
Yeah.
fun. We got a busy fall schedule coming out. For those who have not seen it, been following my socials, we dropped a new single. It's called Need Your Love. It is currently out anywhere you stream music, and it's doing pretty good. So we appreciate y'all listening and hope y'all continue to listen.
You've received a handful of clicks from me.
We have, and I'm ecstatic for it. Thank you. And we've been getting a lot of good traffic. So excited for that. I'm hoping, well, our next single after this will be coming out on September 5th. There'll be The Burnout. That'll be coming out on September 5th. And then the full record release date is October 3rd. So mark your calendars. We'll be hyping that up every single one of these podcasts as we're leaning into it. So just get used to it. It's going to be that way up until it releases and probably a little after. So y'all go give it a stream and give us a little bit of love to start because I would greatly appreciate it.
Is Rocky Mountain Weed just a single, or is it on like it comes across on Spotify? It's always as a single.
So Wine and Weed was a part of Buzzbrain Part 1. So it's an EP, like a little 3-song EP.
That's what. Okay, right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So it's a good song. It's a fun song. Enjoy that one. Yeah, be sure, guys, if you have not already, follow us on our socials. That's going to be Roy May 15 on Twitter, Roy May Jr. on Instagram, Rob the Slapper on both Twitter and Instagram, as well as follow the Red Ass Podcast for updates. We'll be posting on Instagram anytime that uploads are going up, as well as on Twitter, X. Insert your title of the app here, but it'll be going fired out. We'll be sharing these things. And of course, one of the best things you can do is give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, add it to your list on Spotify. And if you like what we're doing, or if you don't like what we're doing, just send us a comment. We appreciate all of that. So the interaction's good. It
I'm
tells us
I'm
that you're
not
listening.
I'm not hyper all over social media, but if you like cooking stuff, feel free to follow me on Instagram because
Mhm.
I like to cook and I like to post about it.
He posts about food. I post about shows. So if you're
And we both
curious
post
about,
about Aggie sports.
yeah, and we all talk about Aggie sports. So if you want to see what we're up to, if you've got some other subject lines and things you're curious about, feel free to fire them in. It doesn't necessarily have to be sport related on these weekend podcasts. So fire them in. We're more than happy to answer your questions. But
Yeah, no politics.
no politics. That is the caveat. But virtually everything else is on the table. So if
Yes,
you want to talk movies, you want to talk about new TV show that came out.
we've talked about some weird things on this podcast.
Yeah. As a quick little aside, if you haven't seen it yet, and I did just this past week, the new King of the Hill season is very good. You should go see it.
Huh? I have not seen it yet.
I enjoyed it. It kind of leans in on older tropes. It does maintain it feels like a continuation, which is what it should be. And I think
Right.
that's the big one for me. Like, yeah, you have the callbacks to some certain things, but certain characters really make a good impact, and I really appreciate seeing them in the fold. So it was good. I enjoy it. But yeah, that's
All right.
podcast number 1 of season 6. We've been doing this for 6 years, buddy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, hard to believe. But I am Rob White. This is Roy May. We are the Red Ass Podcast. Thank you. Take care. One more week off until we get back into football. So excited to be out there. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all next time. Gig 'em.
Jacob.